So in this video, we're going to do a client interview with a tennis coach out in Irvine, California. He joined our coaching program exactly 5 weeks ago, and today we're going to have him share some of his results. Now, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because as always, I'll have Matt share his screen, show you the exact ad we ran for him, all his Facebook stats, how much he spent on the ads, and all the numbers and the behind the scenes look on how the process actually works. So Matt, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and break down exactly how many new clients you've been able to sign in the first 5 weeks of joining this program?
Yeah, what's up, guys? So my name is Matt, as you said, and I joined this program about 5 weeks ago. And when I first started, I was about 3 to 5 probably clients per week, and I wasn't getting enough, and I was getting a little frustrated, irritated. I'm sure we've all been there. And first hesitant, but I was like, you know what I'm doing doesn't obviously work, so I had to change it up. So reaching out to Mo has been such a blessing and really helpful. And it's been about 5 weeks, so now we're at the I've included like probably 18 clients, and from there, I've been able to sell packages. I've been able to increase my prices. Like, there's a lot of confidence being built up, and it's been great. They've been nothing but an invaluable resource, and I highly recommend them. And they've been every step of the way, and I'm thankful that I was able to run into them and work together.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been great.
How much? 100%. And for you, like, how much were you making before you joined the program?
I would probably say an average month is probably around like 1,200 to 1,500. So not enough to live on.
Yeah. And now that you've signed those 18, you said 18 new clients?
Yeah, about 18 new clients. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you've signed those 18 new clients in the last 5 weeks, how much are you making now with those clients?
So this month I've made about 5,300. So it's definitely an increase from what I started with originally, and I can see it keep growing. So I'm excited for what's to come next.
Yeah, 100%. And I know you started offering those packages and like, getting that high ticket sales down your belt, which was a different skill to acquire, which is completely different from what most coaches do. We'll get into that in a second, but like before you joined the coaching program and before running the local ads, can you describe where you were with the business? Like how were you getting clients and like how was the actual process look like?
Yeah, so for me, it was word of mouth, and sometimes just being on court. Sometimes it'd be advertising in itself, and I'd have to give out free lessons or free value first before I could get some. And or I still am a vendor for a homeschool program, but that's just not as consistent because it's, if a client or if a family wants to use you, they have to call you, and they usually want a free lesson or a trial lesson first. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But thankfully, I've had a few clients who are consistent through that. Then I had other clients who were off and on. But that's really how I was getting tennis clientele, and it just wasn't consistent and wasn't enough.
Yeah. And I know you probably saw one of our ads about getting more clients, but I guess like what really made you want to join the coaching program in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it's trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results just doesn't happen. You got to do something different. And instead of me trying to figure out how to do what you guys do, I'd rather use someone else's resources, use their skills, their experience, their wisdom, and pay for it in essence, because it's like, why would I waste all this time trying to figure it out on my own and all these hours of money and also whatever may come from it, because it's like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you don't know, but you have someone guiding you. It's definitely helpful. That's just my
Yeah.
mindset on things.
100%. And I mean, there are a few other programs out there, but for you, like, what stood out to you at this program in particular? Like, why did you ultimately like trust us to help you grow your business?
That's a great question. So naturally, this may be a character flaw of mine that I'm just a trusting guy. So like I like to look for the best in people. And I when I met you guys, and I was like, well, if you're able to really help me make 10K in a month, I'm like, it's worth to at least listen. And seeing Iman constantly posting about tennis content, I'm like, dude, this guy's been all over my page. I gotta at least hear him out. He's probably doing
Mhm.
something right that I'm not. So your ad worked really well on me because I was looking, I was searching, I was hungry, I wanted something new, and I wanted the next thing because what was doing it didn't work.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just I saw how he speaks, and it really resonated with me, and just the whole potential income earning is what I
Yeah.
really enjoyed.
100%. Now you joined us 5 weeks ago. Can you describe like what that experience was like for you in the first couple of days of joining? Because I know there's a lot of people out there like they actually have no clue like what it actually looks like on the other side. But having been there, can you describe what it looks like for you?
Yeah. So for me at first, I was still hesitant. After getting out, I was like, well, Mo, you guys say it's so easy, but I'm looking on the outside, looking in. You're like, well, we've been there before. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna trust what they're telling me is the right thing to do. So, I did what they told me to do, one step at a time. I was like, let me just trust the process. And after I did some recordings and all that stuff, they're like, okay, we'll guide you through here, guide you, like literally every step of the way. I had questions. I didn't feel like I was being a nuisance to them, and they were able to help me with everything throughout it, because I don't like not knowing something new. It's something very difficult for me. But I said, you know what I did didn't work, so I got to try this, and it worked out for me. And from there, even the first day, we ran ads. Like I already got inquiries. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, is it already working? And I said, we're on to something here. So that's what was my first week of that journey.
Yeah, 100%. Now, before we ran your ad, can you break down the process that we like took you through? That way people on the other side can like see like what it was like when you're actually like the first day in the actual program.
Yeah, so the first day you guys gave me a list of things to do. So, I bought a tripod, obviously used my phone, and I would record myself hitting with the clients that I did have. I even had to ask friends and family, like, hey, is it okay if I record you giving a lesson and tips? Because if you don't have a ton of clients, you don't want to see the same person over and over again. It makes it seem like you only have a few clients. So just recording myself, hitting and coaching, and then from there, uploading videos and saying, okay, guys, what do you want me to do? So from there, it was really tripod, recording myself, then having clients and family and friends to show myself teaching them, and then from there, you guys help break down the editing and the video process, and that's kind of what I remember. It feels like a
Yeah.
forever ago, even though it's in 5 weeks.
Yeah, 100%. And can you break down like the ad creation process? Because I know there's a lot of coaches who are like, I have no clue how to create an ad. I have no clue how to actually set this up. I have no clue how to edit my videos. Like, can you break down what it was like for you having like never had the experience on doing that?
Yeah, so for me, they they literally have it all mapped out. So Mo and his team has done such a great job of saying, "Hey, Matt, we need to do this, this, and this." And I was like, "Guys, I don't want to do this." They're like, "Well, this is what it takes to get it done." So even like the voiceovers and all that, they give you the verbiage and you practice over and over and over again. Just like anything, you practice enough times, you definitely improve. So, reading certain things like the scripts and saying like, "Okay, guys, this is what worked for me." And they give you verbiage breakdown. They're like, all right, you need to work on this enthusiasm or tonality or changing your all these things that you wouldn't think about because you're not a marketeer, you're a coach. So they really break you down to be a marketing guy, and it's really cool breaking down the video, like what you're looking for, the call to action at the end, and all of it. They break it down to a science, which it almost seems easy and simple at the same time. And they're like, well, we know how to do it, so just listen to us, and we'll lead you to the promised land, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. And for you, like how important was like setting up your Instagram the right way and having like your video set up and like having never done that to like now having that and kind of like using that as like sales assets that you use when your clients come to your page, follow you, watch your stuff, and then like really, get engaged prior to the actual first session.
Yeah, so it's been definitely a huge thing. It's a big confidence boost. I mean, I was at a wedding last night and I was talking about the program. I was like, guys, if you're in any type of whether it's fitness training or any type of coaching, check out what they did on my page. Like it's just an instant like, hey, instant credibility. I even show them my income. Like, guys, this stuff works. If you're really about this, be serious and you whatever you invest, it'll definitely come back and more.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to invest money in any type of business you do, anyways. So for me, it's like something I'm passionate about. This doesn't feel like work. Coaching, I get to help the next generation or even other clients, adults, like improve their game and share my knowledge, and it's really cool from start to finish. So my Instagram now, I'm proud to show it. I'll tell people like, hey, I started off just posting memes, but now I'm like, I actually look like a tennis coach, and even the things I need to say in my bio, things I need to post. So I've learned to be a little, at least a little bit better in that area. Not the
Yeah.
best, but I have guidance, and it's definitely been helpful.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I know there's a lot of coaches out there who face resistance when it comes to like, running those ads because they don't know how to do it, or B, they just are scared to spend the money because they're like, what if I spend the money and it doesn't actually get me back any profit? So for you, did you have any like feelings where like you either felt scared to run the ad or you felt like, this is like this doesn't feel right?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely felt those things, but I just like I paid for the program. I said I'm going to trust that they know what they were doing. And for me, at the very least, if I didn't see progress within a week or 2 weeks, which it didn't even take that long, I was like, all right, this was a write-off. This was an investment. This is part of the process. But thankfully, that was not my experience at all. It was like within the first day, started running ads. I was like, Mo, we were on the phone actually. I was like, Mo, I actually got my first thing. What do I do?
Yeah,
And he has it all broken down of like, hey, this ad, you got to reply to this way. And I'm just like, dude, this seems so easy. Then I was on a call, nervous as heck, and people are like, oh, I need this or that. I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, Matt, it's all right. It's all there, all written out. I was like, okay, good.
yeah,
I was like, I need that. You first got to learn the cadences and things you have to say, almost like a script. Then you learn to have your own flair to it. So for me, it was I was like, I need to take a risk. Business is risk. I mean, unless you want to work for somebody else, don't take any risk.
right.
So you got
Uh,
to you got to do that.
100%. Now I'll have you share your screen in a second, but like I believe we ran your ad within like that first week that you joined,
Yeah.
and then we were on that call. You got your first lead. That was crazy. And
Yeah.
it's for you, like having been on the other side, like what's the experience of like running ads? Like the first like 2 or 3 days of you running ads, like how did that feel like when you had those people coming to you without you having to like hand out those flyers and business cards and referrals?
Yeah, it was really nice. It almost felt like a cash cow, money making machine. Like, all right, just keep coming, these inquiries, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I don't have to go out there and be there. And then, funny enough, like when I'm out in court, that could be just an ad in itself. Because like the ads that clients I've gotten through the ads, I'll be out there and there's be someone else practicing. I'm like, hey, do you need some pointers or tips? Hey, let me coach you. And then all of a sudden, boom, got another client. So it's like even just being in that environment helps you get more clients. But you wouldn't have been there if you didn't spend the money for the ads and meet. And you also have to have personality. If you're somebody's like I'm just very technical and you're like, hey, that's all I do, like you have to also have some flair with your clients and really resonate with them and build that bond because when they like you, they want to come back. So you have to have that skill set.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being said, it might be just running my mouth here, but that's my experience in it.
No, no, 100%. And when you were running your first ad, like the first week, do you remember like how many leads or like how many calls you had in that first couple of days, first couple of weeks?
If I remember correctly, probably like 10 to 15 calls.
10 to 15 calls. Okay.
Yeah, so that means there was way more leads than that because not every lead turns into a call, but like say at least 10 to 15, and I was able to book them pretty much the following week. And I had the experience of having a client who wanted a 6:30 a.m. Lesson, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So
Yeah.
and then eventually you just kind of build out the schedule from there, and it was really great. So that was
Yeah.
my experience with it.
And for all the sports coaches watching this, maybe they're stuck doing like the old way of doing things, like the word of mouth referrals, handing out flyers, or maybe they're doing like, Teach Me To or like the
Yeah.
apps that are out there. Why do you think it's important for them to like start running their own ads and like, have that sort of control over their flow of clients?
Yeah, I think when you're dealing with the abundance of the ad flow, it builds a certain type of confidence, and you know that even if like let's say you had one or two in a day, you're like, okay, these didn't come through, there'll be more tomorrow. Versus with the other setups, you don't really, it's not really in your control. You don't know what's going to happen next. And even with Teach Me To or other ways of getting it, there's just no guarantee. Sometimes you'd be on court for hours and maybe not get anybody. But if other people see you teaching somebody, they'll be like, oh, that person's probably doing something right. And I mean, same thing can be said about any grocery store, any store you go to. When you see a busy store, you want to go check it out. When the store is empty, you probably not want to check it out. So just same with your business. If people always see you, you're always teaching. They're like, you know what, the person's probably doing something right. So for me, in my experience, the abundance of leads coming in, it also like if I don't get somebody, I'm like, it's all right, there'll be another one.
Yeah.
People will come back because sometimes they'll see your ad multiple times, and maybe it's not the second, third, or fourth time. It's the fifth time they see it. They're like, oh, you know what? I keep seeing this guy. I might as well reach out to him. And
Yeah.
that's been my experience. People will even tell me that, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad to hear it. And then
Yeah.
they start getting lessons from me, and they love it. So that's been my experience.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like on that first or second, I think it was like second or third call when we were on it, you were like, "Oh, I can't believe I just let go of this lead." I'm like, "Don't worry, there'll be more leads tomorrow. You're gonna be fine." And you were so like worried about like, "Oh no, I did a terrible job on this call." Or like, I forgot the exact thing. You can kind of zoom in on that.
Yeah, so there's this park in like nearby me, maybe like 20-ish minutes away, but it's only for residents, and I couldn't coach there. Like, oh well, I only do it here. I'm like, oh, but Mo, I really want this client. He's like, they'll be fine. But in my mind, I was dealing in scarcity. I was dealing with lack. So when I started to think about okay, the abundance of leads coming in, I'm like, it's fine. Now, looking back at it, it's kind of funny to
Yeah.
think that I was so stressed about one. You're like, dude, there's gonna be so many more,
Yeah.
and there has been. Some days are better than others, but it's like it's part of the process. And the thing is, now that you have built up a system, you have clients, you're not worried if you drop a lead because you already have 15, 16 hours in a week. And you're like, I'm almost getting tapped out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. In the beginning, how much were you charging? And I guess like what did that abundance of lead flow like allow you to like, start doing now?
yeah, so in the beginning, I was charging $80 an hour for my lessons, and for my area, there's some affluence here, so there's some wealth, and for me, I think that's on the lower end of a tennis coaching. So for me, that's where I felt comfortable with because I didn't have a lot of leads and I don't, clients. I didn't want to, upset them and lose them. So what I did was I was like, I'm gonna keep it here. But just within the past week, I started having anyone who's new coming in. It's like, nope, I'm dumping $10 an hour. So $90 now. And I think I'm maybe five-ish clients away from just now charging 100. Just because I hear other coaches I talk to, I'm like, what do you guys charge? They're like anywhere from 70 to 100. I'm like, what am I doing charging 80 then or 90? But it's also you build the confidence because if you feel like, hey, I don't feel like I deserve it, you'll pass that on to your client. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, and then you have clients who want or potential leads that be like, hey, I don't think I can afford that. They're not for you. Like, move on, or you try to sell them a group package or like, hey,
Hmm.
do a group session. But like, you don't have to stress about it if they don't want to get your
Yeah.
coaching. It's not
100%.
you're not for everybody.
Yeah, and I love how you break down like the abundance mindset where it's like when you have so many leads coming in, you almost like don't feel bad when you say no to a lead. You almost feel good. I'm like, I don't actually want you. Like I have a better
Right.
call waiting next like on the next call just to see if, that person would actually join in. And it doesn't feel like you're desperate. You're very like, you're like, they actually want to come to you because you're not desperate, because you're coming from this abundance place of mind where you're like getting these clients to come to you versus you just chasing them like, it's always been.
Exactly. Agreed. Yeah.
Now, for you, why don't you go ahead and share your screen and show everyone the ad we made for you? And then from there, we can take a look at some of the numbers.
Yeah. So
Cool. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and play the ad from start to finish, and then we
I'm
can.
looking for five tennis players living in Irvine, California, over the age of 30 who are tired of losing matches and want to get back to their competitive best in the next 3 months. So if you want to win more matches and increase your confidence on the court, then message me the word tennis and I'll see if I can help. My name is Coach Matt, and after helping hundreds of players in person, I'm opening a few more spots for my one on one private training sessions here in Irvine, California. These sessions are designed to improve your technical, physical, mental, and tactical ability on the court so you can play at your best every single time you step on the court. So if you live in the area and you actually want to improve your game, then message me the word tennis and I'll see if I can help.
Okay, cool. Now go ahead and open your business manager so we can take a look at all the numbers and like what that looked like for you on the other side. And I think at the beginning you were spending, correct me if I'm wrong, like 15 bucks per day.
That sounds about right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from August 1st to August 31st, exactly 4 weeks since we started running this ad. And then scroll to the left so we can see the total. So we have 148 new leads came through. And scroll over. The cost per lead was about $4.93. And now we increase your budget to 25. So your total amount spent is 790 because now you're like, I guess like talk to us between like, because I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking like, why did you increase your budget? Why not just keep it at 15? And like, why not just continue getting the same lead flow?
Yeah, so for me, I was like, well, if I'm doing this with $15 a day, I said, what can I do with 25? So I said, let me increase this because I'm starting to understand the systems. I didn't want to open up the fire hydrant per se with a straw. So I think I built a better system and process. So I said, okay, if I can handle these, if I have a little bit more, I can still handle it at the moment.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Mo about this. I think in the next couple of weeks or so, I won't be able to handle the lead flow. So like I'm learning how to adapt and change
Yeah.
systems and whatnot. But that's what made me want to increase. I'm like, well, I'm getting the system, getting the process, you know. So
Hmm.
I said I can handle more now. That's
Yeah.
what.
Now, in the last month, you spent exactly $729.55.
Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself spending that much? Like, would you ever think like before joining the program that you would spend this much money and be okay with it?
No, the answer is no to that question. I almost laugh at it now. I almost look at it. I'm like, whatever, because
Yeah.
now I've made more than that in like one package. Like so for me, I'm just thinking like, well, this is the cost of doing business. It's a write-off, and I know it keeps working when I'm not having to go out there and physically hand out cards or have to
Hmm.
try to talk to new people. Not that I'm against that by any means, but it's like I now have a business and I have a system that I'm running, and it works.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, wow, I spent that much. It doesn't even phase me anymore because I've
Yeah.
already made that and more. I'm like,
And
it's
the
just
cool,
keep bringing in more clients.
yeah, and the cool thing is, even if you cut this out right now, you still have like 18 clients that keep paying you month after month after month, which means that ad that you spent $700 one time for, you're basically profitable for the rest of, as long as you can keep the client. Now, this doesn't work if you're a terrible coach. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're a terrible coach watching this video, please don't spend money on ads because you will just get clients and they'll leave you and they'll be like, I'm just burning money. Yeah,
Yeah, true. Thankfully,
100%.
that's not the case.
And then this ad reached 21,000 people. Awesome. Okay, cool. So ad is crushing it. I guess for you, what's the next game plan? Are you going to continue running at 25 or are you going to increase it?
So I'm gonna keep running at 25.
Hmm.
I'll probably increase it probably in another month or so, and maybe even
Hmm.
a couple of weeks, just depending on lead flow. And if I get busier, I also was talking about I think the next steps, which were more maybe even group sessions
Yeah.
or actually figure out like the tennis court situation because really where you make a ton of money in our business is groups. So you have more than just one person, but you start off with privates and you build from there, and it's great to connect with clients, and then you're able to organize and whatnot.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
100%. Click on the Instagram tab. Let's just show people like the actual process and how it works. If you can break down like what actually happens once you turn your ad on, like can you actually explain to some of the
Yeah.
coaches who are like what actually happens when I have my ad on and what's the process look like from there?
Yeah. So for example, with Alexi, I just signed him. I'm going to be coaching him tomorrow night. Last week, just
Hmm.
going through, hey, how are you? What are your tennis goals? I improve my game. He's doable. Then we were able to get on a call same day. So you could tell this is a client who's really interested and wants to grow. And as I talked to him, he's an athlete. He's a competitor. perfect. I love people like that because I'm like, I know they're serious and they're committed.
Hmm.
And he's like, I want to get better. I already was playing other people, and I knew I could get close to them with my athleticism. I'm like, great. So, I got his number. We set up, and I even asked for a deposit. He was good to go. And that's
Yeah.
something I know Mo and I talked about, which is in the beginning, you're afraid to ask for deposits because you don't know if people will come through and whatnot. But when you're dealing with the abundance, you're like, hey, people have done it before. It keeps both of us accountable. And now I know you're serious because I have people who flake. I'm not dealing with flakes anymore. If you don't want it, don't give me a deposit. It's okay. Don't waste my time. Move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. I remember on that first couple calls, I'm like, ask for a deposit, you'll be fine. And you're like, no, 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 I'm gonna just stick to the easy way. I'm gonna just do what I
Yeah.
did before and see if that works. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, but eventually you're gonna have to start asking for a deposit. Like, let me just get my first couple of clients and then I'm gonna get that. So it's cool to see how you like how quickly you're able to like go from almost like hoping these clients come to you to now it's like, if you don't want to come, no worries. I have another guy waiting.
Exactly.
Can you break down the actual DM process and how it actually works and why we send those specific messages?
Yeah, so it's the psychology behind it. And, for example, this person, I actually had someone in common that we knew, so it made it a little bit easier on this one. But for example, it's the same kind of message structure, but then now I've learned to add my own flair, and just it goes back and forth, and you do that and you become a little more personable. First, you start off very script oriented, then you
Hmm.
have a little bit more flair, and you kind of go from there. And this person, I don't even know if I jumped on the call with them, but they're like, we just went back and forth and it worked out where she's like, "Oh yeah, I had to get creative because she's like, well, I don't want
Hmm.
it too far, I don't want to do this." I was like, "Well, I had a solution because one of my other clients who I got from a lead showed me this tennis courts, and it's really close to where she lives." So I was able to work out a solution where it's like, and she's paying me 90 an hour versus other clients paying me 80. So I was like, let me make this happen.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to go on a phone call, sometimes I don't, and it worked out where I didn't for this one.
Yeah.
But generally, you like to get on the phone because you could talk to them, you could relate to them, resonate, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but this one didn't have to do that.
100%. And on the left here, can you actually scroll down and show like the last 2 or 3 days of your messages? Because like that was the
Yeah,
last 4 days. There's like 20 messages right there.
yeah,
And I know there are people wondering like how does it actually work in terms of like how do you know if a lead came from the ad versus they came from something else? Can you actually
yeah.
break down what it looks like for them?
Sure. So typically, an ad inquiry is how I know, and it'll for me it's tennis. I don't know what sport you play, but for if it's tennis, for example, it'll come in as tennis, or for example, this guy named Turtle, he did tennis. Janine, tennis. Jeff, tennis.
Right.
Yeah, tennis. So I think you guys get the gist of what
Yeah.
that looks like. Yeah.
100%. Well, thanks for sharing that screen. You can unshare. I'm going to ask you a few more questions about like high ticket sales and like how you get those packages.
Yeah.
And then we can give a little bit of more insight on that. So for you having, I guess like before you joined, have you charged any like high ticket products where you were like getting 10 packs or 15 packs up front?
Never even crossed my mind, to be honest with you, Mo. So
Yeah.
I was just like, well, if they come back, great. If they don't, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, and with that vendor program, I really can't. So it was just the clients that I did have, but some of the clients are, once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month. And then now I have weekly clients and it's great. I begin my schedule and I'm like, people are like, oh, can I get that slot? I'm like, sorry, it's booked. Do you have like any other availability? So I'm almost like, I really need some help, like even, potentially other coaches and whatnot, kind of really build the brand up. And it's cool because once you're booked up, like, and you enjoy what you do, you're like, how do I get to the next level? Because now I'm almost bottlenecked. I've
Yeah.
capped out kind of thing.
100%. And having like never done the high ticket thing to like charging somebody $1,000, $800, $900 for a package. I guess what's the transition between that? Like what's the mindset behind that? Because I know you could have done it before that, right? Like you could have
Yeah.
probably offered that, but I guess why didn't you have the confidence to do it back then that now you do?
It definitely goes back to the abundance thing. So now that I know I have more than, 5 clients a week, I know that if these people are serious. I know that they'll want to come back for more. And typically, if I kind of hear their story, which is really good about the conversation piece, you have to really have to listen to what they're saying. So hear their pain points, hear what they're trying to improve upon, and just say, hey, you know what? If you do this after this amount of time, you'll reach your goals, which is what we want to happen. You don't do anything once or twice and improve. That's just not reality. So I said, you're actually going to get more value out of this if you pay up front. So I give them a little bit of a discount. That way I get the money up front today versus waiting for their money. So now they're coming back to me. I have no stress that they're going to come back to me because I've already built in where they've already paid the package. They're like, man, when's the next lesson? When's the next lesson?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, hold on. So it's cool to see that I've reversed. it now where they need me versus I really don't need them because now they've already paid and they're gonna want more their lessons. They want their value
Yeah.
in exchange.
And it creates like committed athletes or committed like people who actually want to show up, who actually want to like, they're reaching out to you as a reminder. It's like, hey, when is the next session? Hey, when can I show up? Like, when is the thing? Versus like in the old school way of doing things, you jump on a call, offer a free session, and then from there you hope they come to the first session, and then from there hope that they come back and book a second session, which like usually
Exactly.
doesn't happen because like at the end of the day, if you're not, getting committed athletes, then it's like I guess for you, like, what's the difference between getting those athletes and like getting people from the ads and getting people who are coming in knowing that you will have something more premium?
So I like Mo was saying, I really prefer people who are committed and athletes because they have that mindset that they know that they need to invest time and money. It's a commitment based mentality versus like, let me just try it out. I'm really not sure. So with people like that, if you can get them to have like a goal or a reason to do it, then they're more focused on what they want to accomplish versus what you want to get from them per se, if that makes sense. So my mindset is like, how can I get them what they want? So that way I can get kind of what I want in the end, which is I want them to buy a package so that they can grow and increase their skill set. It's a
Yeah.
value exchange.
100%. It's like what you said exactly, because like people can quickly buy packages elsewhere, but you're not selling a package, you're selling a transformation, which is the difference between the average coach and the coaches who make 5, 10, 15, 20K a month. So I
Yeah.
guess like for you having been on the other side, what would you tell someone who's like completely new to running ads and this whole social media world?
Yeah, so take that leap of faith. I mean, take that risk. It's on the other side of everything you're afraid of is probably everything you want. So if you're over there trying to play it safe, then business really isn't for you, to be honest with you, because you're gonna have to take a risk whatever you do in business, whether it's coaching or something else, you're gonna take that risk. So invest that money. It's worth it. And the other side of it, I'm over here upset that I didn't do this sooner, but we tr my faith, I'm trusting the plan that it was done at the right time.
Mhm.
But if you're thinking about it, you're stressed and you're concerned, I mean, frustrated where you're at, what you're doing obviously doesn't work. Because if it did, you wouldn't be looking around for something else. So for me, it's go and take that leap of faith. It's worth it. It's exciting, and now I'm very hopeful for the future. I'm like, oh man, there's so much I can accomplish. Versus before, it was really bleak. It's like I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. I'm hoping. Hope isn't a strategy. So
Right. Now that your ads are cranking, and I love the way you broke that down, but like now that your ads are cranking and you're getting a ton of clients, what's next for you? Like, what's the long-term vision? Like, what's the aspiration?
yeah, so I was telling Mo this. My goal now is to be able to ideally I still want to do tennis. I still want to coach tennis, but I want to have assistant coaches and I want to be able to make that money passively. So I want to be able to make about 20K a month passively. And I know there's other ways to make money in coaching, but first you got to start off with the nitty-gritty, which is finding the clients, building that up, building that brand up. Then, even going to the merchandise route, then, online coaching. And then you're really building where you can make money 24/7 if you're not there. But I really enjoy what I do and I would love to be able to keep doing it, but I would like to lessen my load. But in the beginning, like now that's my future thought process. So in a year from now, I'll like to be making 20K a month with assistant coaches or whatnot. And now I can go and travel and I'm still making money and something I enjoy and love. And so it doesn't feel like work. So that's the next steps for me.
Dude, I'm so excited for you because at the end of the day, you came in, you took action, you got the results, and then you just kept going. Like most people, after they get their first like 5, 10 clients, are like, I'm good. I'm gonna just, back off because like they're set. But I can see like you're more ambitious in terms of like you want more out of it. Because like if you see something that works, why not just keep doing it over and over and over and just double down, triple down, quadruple down?
Exactly. Yeah. If you keep avoiding the hard things, don't expect great things to happen in your life. Like, so thought process is if you do hard things now, you can enjoy things later. Versus if you avoid the hard things now, you're not going to be able to enjoy later. And I want to enjoy later. Just do it now.
100%. Now, before you jump off, I guess like once one piece of advice or one takeaway you'd give away to any, sports coach watching this, or like they're kind of like hesitant, or they're kind of like they've
Yeah,
tried ads or they didn't try ads, they've tried the social media world, it didn't work, or maybe they tried referrals, word of mouth, and it's
yeah,
still like causing them to be in the same situation. What would you tell that one person if you had to like really shake them out of their reality?
for sure. So I think I touched on it earlier. It's just like if what you're doing was working, you wouldn't be looking for other answers elsewhere. And it's definitely frustrating. I hear you and I understand where you're coming from. So if you want something new, you got to change your method of what you're doing. So you have to really take that leap of faith and trust that people who have done it, who've experienced success, know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. Like if Mo hadn't shown me he's been able to grow his account and also, make 5-figure months, I wouldn't take that risk. But I've seen it. I've seen their whole team and like they're winning. So you want to be around winners. And if you're not in that competitive group team environment, it's very tough to do it on your own. Maybe you do, but if, like I said, if you had it all figured out, you wouldn't be looking and searching for something different. So take that chance, take the opportunity. It's gonna pay out. It's gonna work it in the end. It's worth it, and it's the journey that makes it really cool. Like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna happen, and then you look back and like, oh, what was I stressing for nothing? You know? So your fear is like, just let it go. Let's keep going because it's worth it. I'm excited for what's gonna transpire and come because great things are on the horizon. So
Dude, love how you broke that down. You couldn't have said any better. I'm going to attach your Instagram down below in the description for
yeah,
anyone who wants to have any questions for you. But once again, Matt, thank you for being here. And if you're a sports coach watching this video and you want more help growing your private training business, click that first link in the description below to book a call with our team to see how we can help you do the same thing. And Matt, once again, thank you for being here.